there. Okay, this year, right now, we have 20 community partners, I believe, if I remember correctly, that you can register to. So when you come at 7:45, between 7:45 and 8:30, you will go around, you'll have a list of all the different types of activities, and you can select what activity that you want to be involved in, which then leads me to then how can you be involved? Well, one way is you can select individual sites for yourselves. In other words, you show up as a member. When you get there, when you register, you'll be able to suggest or sign in as a member of SGA. So you get credit, and SGA gets credit for your participation, and you can select an individual site that you want to participate in, depending on either your passion or what it is that you want to do or the type of work involved, things of that nature. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the advantages. One of the advantages of doing it that way, if I remember correctly, some of the intern presentations, or at least one of the intern presentations last in the fall, suggested that people aren't as aware of SGA. So by spreading yourselves out as individuals and going to the different sites and things of that nature allows you to network a little bit, allows you to get out there, and allows you to kind of meet different people, kind of introduce yourselves to students, and try to get the students involved in the SGA. So I think, again, that's a benefit for that. Another way, though, is if you want to, as a group, if you get a commitment as a group, you can then let us know that as a group you want a particular site, so that it can kind of be like a team building or an engagement kind of process that day where you all kind of go to a site and work together at a site. The thing that you have to do is when you go online, each site only has room for so many participants. So you have to make sure that you have the number of participants, and then if I can say, you have to make sure that you have commitment. Because what we don't want to do is create or go to a community partner and tell a community partner that we're going to send people there and then have people not show up that day, okay? So again, that means that if you're going to commit as a group, you have to follow through with that commitment. A third way is that you can actually, if you want, even though we have 20 community partners selected right now, if you have a particular community partner that you want to select on your own, if there's a particular cause that you want to represent that day or something of that nature, and you want to make that connection, that's cool. All you have to do is let us know so that we can get that community partner registered for the event. And then you, again, as a group, can go and serve that community partner. So those are some of the different ways that you can get involved. If you go online, the online application registration is open at this point. So it's just a matter of you can either do it individually, or again, you can just let us know if you want to do it as a group, and we'll arrange that.
Some different non-traditional students, how do we register, sir? Because when you Google KSU Day of Service and you go to the website on the regular Kennesaw website, it does not allow you to register there. It shows you a video of previous years and an email.
There should be a registration site. I actually went in and registered myself. I would assume, yes. You can say that louder.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so yeah, there is a registration. I know I went in and registered. I'd have to get you that link, and if you want, what I'll do is I'll send you the link so that you can share with everybody. Okay, so we'll make sure that you get the specific link to do that. Okay, are there any other questions about that? Okay. I always like to give a lesson. When you ask people if they have questions, it takes people on average about 6 seconds to think whether they have a question, whether they want to ask a question, things of that nature. We're so awkward with silence in this society that anybody want to take a guess about how long we wait before we start talking again? 4? Yeah. Actually 9/10 of a second. So we do things like, so anybody have any questions? Okay, great. Well, listen, if you do. So if you want people to talk with you, go silent for a little bit and allow them to think. So just one quick last piece. I highly encourage you as a group to get involved in this, okay, and to commit to it. This is one of the institution's largest days of kind of connecting with the community and giving back to the community. And one of the things that we do to add value to our institution and therefore to our degrees is to kind of create connection with the community. So one thing is for you to kind of support the institution in doing that as a group and go out and do service. Again, it's about 3 hours of your time. The other thing I would suggest is it's really good for you as an organization. I mean, the only way you get people to know about you as an organization is if you get out there and start interacting with people in doing these kinds of activities. So I highly encourage you to kind of start getting committed, not just day of service, but we have service activities all throughout the year. I highly encourage you to start getting committed to those things so that while you're out there, you can start networking with people and letting them know the wonderful work. I agree that you are doing wonderful work, but if people don't know who you are, they don't understand the work that you're doing, then they don't understand why they should get involved, okay? Any other questions? Oh, see that? That's about 5.5 seconds right there.
So what if students aren't able to, like, what if they have a time or a commitment that is like right at the end of day of service? Are they able to leave early or?
If you have your own transportation, I would say yes. Right. I mean, if you can only participate for 2 out of the 3 or so hours, absolutely. Any service you can give is appreciated. Okay. The only thing that I do want to qualify there is the buses will only be running certain times, so you do have to have your own transportation there.
Registration is on Ally.
Oh, it is on Allies? Thank you. No question is a weird question. Oh, no, that's no question is a stupid question, but sorry.
Any further questions?
That's 6 seconds. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Point of information, are we good to talk without the mics? No. Okay. No, Senator Coakley, we are not. Okay, at this time, I would like to welcome KSU Miracle to tell us about what they got going on. Yay.
Take the stage?
Like not the literal one, this one.
Oh, but then, okay. Oh, wait, can we play this in the end? Yeah, no, you're good, you're good. Hello, hey guys. Hey, what's up? Hey, first off, I just want to thank you guys for inviting us once again to speak to you all. For those that haven't met me, my name is Arsalan Ali. I'm the Campus Relations Director for Miracle at Kennesaw State.
And hi, I'm Katie Beveridge. I'm the recruitment chair for Miracle at Kennesaw State.
So before I begin, I just want to give you all a quick shout out. Before the school year started, you guys set a goal to raise $1,500. And just last week, you all met that goal of $1,500 in, I believe, $3. So it is truly phenomenal. And just give yourself a round of applause real quick. That is awesome.
Okay, so there's some new faces in here, so just as kind of some background information. If you have not heard about Miracle at Kennesaw State before, we are the largest on-campus student philanthropy. All year we fundraise for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Last year alone, we were able to raise $330,541 for our local children's facility right across the street from the KSU football stadium. And right now we have 953 students involved. So if you're looking for another way to get involved in the KSU community, it's an awesome way. And we have our upcoming event in 17 days, our annual event called Dance Marathon. And it's a huge celebration of all the hard work and effort we've put into fundraising all year. There's food and clothes, sorry, I'm a little nervous. The camera kind of throws me off. But you get t-shirts and water bottles, and we get to hear about all of the awesome families that have been impacted by Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Yeah, and we can go more into detail of what Dance Marathon is, but we thought it'd be better to just show you guys a video. So please enjoy this real quick.
Okay, well, that is just a little. That is just a little peek into the crazy, awesome, tiring, wonderful day that Dance Marathon will be. To those of you that have registered and are involved with Miracle, I've handed Carly some personal invitations for you guys for Dance Marathon. And if you are not involved yet, that is totally okay. We are currently having a discount code, so to get involved with Miracle and to create a fundraising page and get on the SGA team, it is only $12.50. And Carly, if you don't mind, I'll send you that information. And for that $12.50, you get into Dance Marathon. As I said, 2 meals, we feed you, you get a t-shirt, we clothe you, and a water bottle, and just an awesome day full of fun and just love for all of the amazing things that Children's Healthcare of Atlanta has done and will continue to do.
Is there any questions? There we go. Sorry, I'm just logging this.
So if someone registered as a ghost dancer, are they still allowed to show up to the event, or is it like no?
Yes, you're more than welcome to come. Any more questions? Okay.
Thank you guys. I know I will be there, and I'm excited to dance with all of you. I'm a fun dancer. Ask the kids that I nanny. Okay, so moving forward, now we're going to go into officer reports, starting with Director Weiss.
Director of External Affairs. Hey everyone. So this is a pretty busy couple weeks. First thing, I went to a CORED meeting the beginning of last week, and that is the Presidential Commission for Racial and Ethnic Diversity that I say over and over again. It was pretty uneventful, but something may be coming up in the next couple weeks, but we'll see. I also met with Captain Bullock and Major Height and Officer Farr of Cobb County PD Precinct 1 to discuss the potential police forum event that I'm looking to have later this semester. We're going to look to meet again next week to discuss the panelists, finalization, and the logistics for how that's going to operate. Additionally, like Dr. Yanazzi said, I had a Day of Service Planning Committee meeting with Dr. Yanazzi and Jamaria, who's not here tonight. But that did happen. It went really well. Exciting stuff planned. Like he said, I'm just going to echo some of the stuff he said. He pretty much gave the good summary, though. But we are actually making it a mandatory event. After talking to the rest of the executive board, SGA is going to have Day of Service be a required event for everyone. The reasons for that, Dr. Yanazzi pretty much went over, but sort of a summary. We're here for students. KSU's in our community includes all those students. We should go help that community and those students. So pretty self-explanatory. Those applications are open. I know I mentioned the flyer and the sign up in the group me twice, I think. But please go and sign up as quickly as you can. We are looking to have a group, preferably. We're still going to work out the logistics after talking to the rest of the executive board, as in if we're going to all go to one specific service site or go individually. I would ideally like to go all as one group. I know, Ron, you said you're a service leader, site leader, so ideally we would all go with you. But we'll discuss that when it comes. And like you said, I'm sure we're going to have a sign-up sheet for SGA members, so that should be taken care of, and there shouldn't be any issues with that. Continuing, a lot of bills are being passed in the Capitol right now. A lot of them are in the hopper also. There's potentially going to be a few signed soon. There's specifically one that I'm looking at that might affect higher education, but I'll update you all when they become relevant to us. Per our last meeting, Vincent, Sam, and I passed the resolution for the Intern Reform Committee. So if you're interested in joining that, please talk to one of us after the meeting. We're trying to talk to your Nazi after the meeting about it. So just let us know. Love to have you on board. Vincent and I went to a faculty senate meeting on Monday, and that was very eye-opening in terms of what is being talked about at the faculty level and how much we don't know as students. So that is something that I would encourage everyone to attend with us going forward. Another thing, Vanessa and I's event that she posted in the group meet today, where's Vanessa right there, in partnership with the cultural and community centers detailing the reporting process for racial discrimination in the classroom, is going to happen next Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the Social Sciences Room 2036. The flyer, like I said, is in the group meet, so please look at that. Love to have everyone there. And then the last thing, previous Georgia Governor Nathan Deal appointed 3 Board of Regents members before he left office, but because of a technicality and the appointment of Governor Kemp, those 3 people will now only serve until the end of this current legislative session in April, and new ones will be appointed. That doesn't mean anything for most of you. But it should. The Board of Regents is the governing body of the University System of Georgia, so that affects us greatly potentially. That will be given more clarity later on in the semester, but that's something to keep your eye on. So that was my last thing, so end the report. Try to be quick.
Director Burleson Williams.
Hey guys. Okay, so since I was appointed for DPO, I've been very busy. I hope everyone got their emails about the appropriate attire that the secretary sent out. I had interviews for the governance committee. Those went well. Very well. Meet the president. I hope everyone came out. We had a good turnout as far as like participants outside of SGA. I am involved with communications committee, so I met with them discussing promotional activities and things like that. I just want everyone to be, I guess, helping us with our social media presence outside of the SGA's Instagram page. I met with Senate Lead Dykes and Senate Lead Henry, to come up with how we're going to track the demerits and strikes on both campuses as far as like one-on-ones and officer reports. So they're going to start cracking down on that. I'll let them tell you about that. I met with SGA advisor Ron, and he helped me out with just understanding my duties and responsibilities for a DPO position. So I'll go into that with the governance committee whenever I meet with you guys. I hope everyone saw my appointments in the GroupMe. We'll be doing that later. I also met with Dr. Monica Nandin, and she works over in the Wellstar College, but she brought to Senator Rumba and I attention about mental health in our college. We're like nursing and sport management, social work, and things of that nature. And she was very passionate about all of the mental health issues that college students face. So she's trying to work on a big event in April, and she wants to come and talk to SGA about it. But I just wanted to, let you guys know about that. And that's about it in the report.
Director Delaney.
Hey guys. So last week, Senator Benitez and Senator Ramon and I met with Dr. Chris Hutt talking about summer enrollment strategies, and I think it went very well. We Mark Rosenthal, I don't know his name, I hope he's not watching, but he was awesome. He was also there, but it kind of goes with Dr. Witten's strategy to decrease the time it takes to graduate. So look out for some new strategies to get people to enroll in summer classes, and you should take summer classes. It'll get you out of here quicker. We talked about a lot of misconceptions about summer classes. The biggest is that you can get financial aid over the summer. So if that has been an issue, you can come talk to one of us. We talked at length about that because we were very confused, but that's probably the biggest misconception that we talked about. I'm sorry? So yeah. UPCC, there's a meeting tomorrow. If someone could please go with me, or please go, that would be amazing. It's in Perlman Hall, 1105, I believe, from 12:30 to 2. There's a lot on our agenda this semester, so we've added, I think, an extra meeting in every single month. So please, if you can go, it's a really fun committee. They're all really cool, and they do ask for student input a good amount of the time. Elections committee, we're going strong. Elections close on a Friday. If you are a senator, you do have to reapply. So if you're a senator and you want to come back, make sure you submit the application. But yeah, please get those in. Tell your friends to get those in. Yeah. And then Fuel for Midterms, one more time. It is February 28th on the Marietta campus. We're going to meet in the office. It's from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. I think, yes. And then on Kennesaw, we'll also meet in the office, and that is from 2:30 to 3:30. And it is a mandatory event. So if you can't go for class or for whatever reason, you need to send me an email at least 24 hours in advance. And this is 2 weeks in a day, so don't tell me you forgot by now. But end of report.
Senate Lead Dykes. Communications. Director Watkins, just kidding. I'm sorry, I forgot about you. Sorry.
Okay, hi y'all. So my committee met for the first time on Tuesday, February 5th. Let me see. So a major thing that I'm trying to do, especially being communications, is push our media. So in talking with our DPO, we're trying to have it where it's an expectation that every time someone puts something in the group message that needs to be posted on social media, everyone needs to do that unless you do not have a social media account, and most people have social media accounts. So the movie night, the series of movie nights that were going to take place during February, they've been canceled due to some like logistical things. But instead, we are now focusing our attention to the poetry night that's taking place on March 20th, pending the approval of the event application thingy and the location. Aiming for Parliament, if not then I can't remember the other place. But so look out for that. Well, we're really trying to promote that. Let me see. Auditions will close sometime the week of the 25th, so that people, if they're interested, talk to your friends. If they're interested, tell them to send me their work or sign up for a time to audition for me and my committee members, and that'll happen the week of the 25th, and then we're gonna start sending out the flyers. Communications Committee is trying to do this Go Vote campaign to promote the elections. We're trying to work with the Elections Committee for that one. Essentially what we had in mind was a kind of a minute-long promotional video involving, not random students, but kind of random students, and just like getting them to talk about voting and the different things that they have problems with and getting SGA's name out there. So that we need to hurry up and do because the campaigning can start on the 25th, which is my birthday, and voting opens on the 11th. Aside from that, I created an Excel sheet that has everything that a person's missing. So you should have told me if you need a lapel pin, a nameplate, a headshot, or a polo by now. I'll also be updating the website within the next week. I finally got the training for that done. Today we'll be taking the family picture, so don't leave right after the meeting, and we'll also be taking headshots. And then another thing the Communications Committee is doing is doing senator highlights. So on Instagram how they have the highlight function at the top, we're trying to have each senator do a photo or something in front of their college or whatever constituency they represent, and put it on Instagram so everyone knows who their person is that represents them. Okay, end of report.
Thank you, Director. I'm going to start with our Senate Lead Dykes. Senate Lead Dykes. Hey, guys. So first and foremost, if you have not yet signed up for a one-on-one, please do that. February is coming to a close pretty soon here. So if you have not yet signed up for a one-on-one, do that. I will send the link out again in the group me so you don't have to go searching for it after the meeting, but check on that. Officer reports are due last day of the month. Last semester, the turnout for turning in officer reports was not great, but we are really kind of cracking down on that. So if you don't turn in an officer report, that is a demerit. We're also using the officer reports as a way to keep track of y'all's campus engagements. So you need to talk about your campus engagement in your officer report. If you don't turn in an officer report, we won't know about your engagement and you're going to get a strike for that. So it's really, really important to turn in officer reports simply because that's how the exec board and your constituency knows what you're up to. We updated the form on Owlife to kind of include a list of things that should be on there. If you need help figuring out what you should talk about in your officer report, you can check that out. It's just whatever you've done as an SGA senator, engagements, meetings, projects you're working on, that kind of thing. So please check that out. And there's also a template on there for you guys to use for your headers so that we can all look nice and uniform and put together. Let me consult my thing real quick. Yeah, so sorry, just to kind of reiterate what our lovely DPO said earlier, we have gotten everything very, very organized in terms of keeping track of one-on-ones and officer reports and all that stuff. So if those things aren't done, then you're unfortunately going to get strikes and demerits for that. So please get those in on time. End of report.
Thank you, Senate Lead Henry.
Hey, so I shout out everything on Slack, the one-on-ones. My report is just a little bit more personal. Just let me know how I can help you. Again, I know there's a lot of ambiguity with the Marietta team, and I'm not really good with ambiguity. So just please be very straightforward with me, please. End report.
Thank you. Let's go to Treasurer Haar.
Hey guys, so first things first, thank you. So as of the 6th of February, I had a stipends committee set up, but after further inspection, we tried to promote it more and try to get more involvement. Unfortunately, the people who applied were the same people who I had on the committee previously. I said that those applications were going to close at noon today, but I really want to encourage you guys to get involved and help us out. I can't do it alone, and I really need you guys' support. So they're going to close midnight tomorrow night, and it's been emailed to you and put in the group me, so just be on the lookout for that, or go back and look at it. Like I said last meeting, the mid-semester budget report, it's going to be a presentation kind of talking about where we're at in spending, what we have left, and kind of like what needs to happen to make sure we utilize the funds efficiently. Recent expenditures have included Director Watkins for the culture movies. President Keller, has submitted promo requests, and if you weren't there, we had two Meet the President events. Vice President Masood, or Salam, purchased 2 gavels for us, so now we have gavels that are SGAs, and they will stay with us forever and ever now. And then Senator Rahman helped purchase Scantrons for both offices, and we're very thankful for that. Recent spending, upcoming spending is going to be fuel for midterms. That's going to be pretty much the most recent event, and then after that, fuel for finals. And then there should be the name tag and polo orders that Director Watkins puts in. Moving away from student government, we're going to talk about SABEC for a little bit. Today was a very long and productive meeting. Thank you, Vincent, for coming. And President Keller was also there. We had a lot of discussion. That discussion first included submissions from the French Club, the IEEE Computer Society, the Kennesaw Pride Alliance, the Biology Student Association, the Muslim Student Association, the Italian Club, and Enactus all submitted requests, which were therefore approved after our consideration. Staying on the topic of SABEC, annual budgets for all RSOs, including ours, will be due March 29th at noon. So the executive board for Student Government Association is going to work really hard to put that together to see what next year and next semester looks like for us. And there's going to be annual budget info sessions. I have the dates and times for those right now. So if you have a pen or pencil, I recommend you write these down. March 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Marietta campus. this building, room A214. We're going to have our first one. That's going to be a Monday. And then on Tuesday, March 5th, on the Kennesaw campus in Perlman 1002, from 5 to 7 p.m., there's going to be another meeting. And then Thursday, March 7th, from 9 to 11 a.m. in the J building on the Marietta campus. We're going to be in room 201. And then Friday, March 8th, from 10 a.m. to noon, we're going to be in the Burris building and the big auditorium in there. Essentially, those meetings are going to be able to help guide RSOs through the ever-changing process, which still is changing. As SABAC met today, we were trying to establish I've sent in the business chat the funding form, and I've shown some of you guys in our meetings the funding formulas that we kind of have limits set and what rules we can follow when using the money. Pretty much most of those limits are subject to change right now. There's still certain things such as the classification of RSOs that are affecting our progress. So it's kind of like we submitted a lot of ideas today, and we'll see in terms of the administration's decision on the classification of RSOs and that things of that nature, what like the end result will be. A quote from Dr. Sansevero was, we worked really hard today and putting a lot of things on paper, but we may come back in a month or at our next SABAC meeting and see that a lot of things have been changed by the legal team, contracts, and then finance. So a lot of things dealing with the administration. I think that's all I got. Thank you, guys. Questions?
Could you repeat the time for the first March 4th meeting?
You ready?
Yeah.
5 to 7 p.m. Yep.
I was just going to ask if there's any way you could get all those dates emailed to us or drop them in the group meet, just because I didn't get them all, and I don't want to make you say it all over again. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions for Treasurer Har? Oh, just kidding.
We are looking for one more member of SABAC currently. Carly and I are in charge of that. It just needs to be one person. The availability of that is like one Wednesday a month at 3:30 p.m. to about 5:30 p.m. You are helping allocate almost $2.5 million worth of your student activities fee, which is really important and honestly a great honor. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Secretary Tor?
Do I have to stand up because my legs have fallen asleep? Okay, cool. I want to say if you guys have not gone to the Meet the President event, are not doing the elections PowerPoint that Senator Lee Dykes has talked about, then you need to submit event request form this week because it has to be sent 2 weeks in advance. And if you don't do it, then you're not going to get counted for that, and you're going to get a demerit or strike. Also, I know that with campus engagements, it can be very tiring and boring, especially because most people just do tabling. I really encourage you guys, if you have other ideas or other places or other ways or just things you want to do as your engagement, there's so many options. You can talk to me, and we can definitely work out an alternative. Also, I'm going to be working soon to getting more office supplies in both offices, so I'm going to probably send out 2 different surveys for Marietta and Kennesaw for people to say what we need. I know that there's been an issue in Marietta where there's not been a form for office hours. Ron found some today, and there's some empty ones too. They're on the table on there. I'd like to work on getting a clipboard to put it up, just like in the Kennesaw office, and having it have everything the Kennesaw office has. End of report.
Thank you for ordering office supplies, Secretary Tor. Okay, now we're going to move to Vice President Salam.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I kind of have a small flu. Cough, my bad. Cough. My voice is, it's a bit off. So, just. Okay, Okay. All right, starting my report. There was a dream project that I had in the beginning of the semester called the book committee. This was a thing that was discussed by me, and I discussed it with our president, Witten, and she was really supportive of it, and we kind of had almost good consensus on what we should do at this point. But she actually asked me to involve SGA more in this and bring out a report for this. So what we're going to do is, right now you know that the book cost for almost all the students is pretty high. And especially for the STEM students, it is even higher. Even for the most general education books, you just have to pay around like $300, $350 for a single physics or chemistry book. And pretty much, I know we can't reduce the price of the book per se because it is decided by the distributors and publishers, but we could find alternative means where we could effectively reduce the price on the students. Let's say choosing the older books, older edition books, which cost less, choosing the ebooks, which costs around like 1/4 of the actual price. And so what Dr. Witten actually asked me to do is, she was planning to put a committee towards the end of April or she didn't actually give me the actual date, but when she's off from the actual business where she's actually really busy with all those stuff that is, I'm not really sure what, she said she's really busy till the end of February or March, but after that she'll be putting together a committee which will work on this kind of stuff, and she needs a report from SGA which will give her an idea of what policy changes or what other things must be implemented so that we could effectively reduce the price on the books for the students. So I'm planning to have a committee of members around like 8 or 9 members. And most probably I'll be holding around 5-6 meetings, and I'm planning to submit this report in the beginning of March, so the first week of March. So we have a solid, I say, 20 days. And if we could get a good report, it will not, it won't be benefiting us per se because I don't know how long will be before it will get implemented, but we'll be setting a precedent for the future students where it will be actually really be beneficial for them, where, thank you. But the next one is, yes, so our Senate lead, Marietta Senate lead, Henry, and I will be meeting with Dean Preston, who's the Dean of the College of Computing and Software Engineering next week, but the date hasn't been fixed yet. The date, most probably we'll get the date by Friday. And I'll let the people, the SGA members know about it, but this was a dream kind of thing that Dean Preston started in my first year as a computer science senator. So I was here as a computer science senator for the new senators who are actually joined. But and pretty much what he planned on was to not only involve the SGA, but other major clubs, the leaders of other major clubs around the computer science college to kind of give them ideas, to bring out the issues that the student face, and have some kind of understanding between how to get more companies and job offers for the students. So it was a really good initiative, and so far it hasn't been official, but from this month, Dean Preston is actually making it official, so we are going to be on the front page of the our computer science website. And pretty much moving forward, I guess this will be even bigger, and we have seen the good results that come out of it. And once we are done with the meeting next week, most probably we'll have the next meeting, right, 2 weeks after, right? So I'll be providing an insight of what we discussed and what topics came up. And I'm not really sure whether anyone outside the computer science college is allowed to be a participant as a visitor, but I'll kind of inquire about it and let you know. So if Dean Preston feels that that is okay, we could actually bring them in, but I don't think that'll be possible because this is an advisory council that he wants personally, but I'll just let you know about it. And our DPO, new DPO, Bree, and I am part of the Academic Career Planning Committee, which I'm not really sure what the actual committee's power of changing the calendar is at this point, but I believe that we'll be able to implement some of our major goals that we had to move this, what we call as the spring break ahead, like sync it with the other schools around Georgia. But I'm not really sure what, because I haven't actually gotten more results, and this is a committee that I got into last week. So I'll be inquiring more about it this week, and pretty much understanding what their aim is. And once I get to know about it, I'll let you all know. And our first meeting is on February 19th, which is next week. And I don't think a lot of the things will be discussed, so they have given us another date, which will be a follow-up. I guess it's on February 25th. I'm not really sure about the timing of February 25th, but on February 19th, it is from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. But I don't really have a lot of more information about that right now, but I'll let you know. And happy thing, I mean, the new senators are assigned to their committees, new committees, and official email will be sent out to the directors of the committees tonight. And I've already talked to the senators and kind of got their permission, if you want to say. But I kind of, so this will be their primary committees, which is given to them right now. But as you know, these senators have the option of choosing another committee if they want to, and this will be their secondary committee if they, plan to choose another one. And looking at the space that is available in each committee and consulting with the director of that committee, I'll be assigning those senators if they want to be part of that committee. And another news, Marietta office, I'm planning to officially submit the cleaning form, where we are planning to move the big desk that is right around the opposite corner, like the far corner. And I'll be talking with Brittany, who is Dr. Ray's assistant tomorrow, and she'll be helping us do that. And I'll also provide the update next meeting. Or most probably, once I'm done, I'll provide a picture of that in the group me. And we met with Dr. Ray, President Keller and I, and she will be providing more details about it. I know I'm running short on time. And our DPO has nominated new people for the committee, the governance committee. And I'll be working closely with the governance committee to implement all those constitutional amendments and bylaws that we desperately need at this point. And if you have any input, please feel free to reach out to the DPO. We really need to get this done before, I'd say, April 24th. That's it. Yeah. And I guess that's enough report. Thank you.
Hi. So I've had a fun couple of weeks. Yay, so let's get started. One of my most exciting moments was I met with President Whitten, and it was extremely productive. That was a Friday after our last meeting. And the objective for that meeting was for her to just get to know me as your new president and vice versa. She did ask a lot about you guys and what you're up to. And I know a few of you, for those that are watching, asked me to bring up a couple things to her, but those things were not formally emailed to me, so I did not. So I meet with her once a month, the first Friday of every month, I meet with her. So before March 1st, shoot me an email of what you would like for me to bring up to her, and I'll be more than happy to do so because she is excited to hear from you. Next, tonight you will be seeing some new appointments. I interviewed our current Senator Lopez and our soon-to-be, hopefully, Senator Lefebvre for Lopez for the Director of Internal Affairs and Lefebvre for the Center for Honors College. You will be voting on those later. Next, I found members for the Technology Fee Committee, Academic Calendar Committee, and the SABAC Committee. A lot of people are excited to hear from you guys, so please keep watching your group me and emails for my appointments to those committees. My email is constantly blowing up with that. So congratulations with KSU Miracle. We reached our goal. You guys rock. Yeah. Then this is not a subject I can speak on much, but I'm part of the Chief Diversity Officer Search Committee, and we had a meeting last week where we are productive in using an outside source to begin the process of finding candidates for that position. Then I met with, she's now the Provost, Schwag, her strategic planning committee meeting for the Coles College of Business, and I know Senator Brand and also our newly appointed co-senator were there as well, so they can highlight on that. We also had 2 executive board meetings, one last week and then one about a couple hours ago, to talk about you guys and how we can better serve you. One thing that I did ask of the executive board, and I hope that they are still diligently working on it, is I asked them to begin writing what is called, what I see as a little packet or pamphlet for those that are going to take their places in the next administration. I feel that is extremely helpful. I know I really would have benefited from that. I also really we focused on what the budget should look like for this next coming year. So I've asked all of your executive board members to start thinking about what they want their designation portion of the budget to look like. So when we pass it off to the new administration, it is catered to their current need. So that would be very beneficial. I also met with Dr. White on the 4th. She is the Vice President of Student Affairs, and she is extremely supportive of all of us. Again, this was just kind of a save face meeting as, hey, I'm the new guy. And she wanted to let me to relay to you all that she is here for you in any way, shape, and form. And that's a pretty big person to have in your pocket, so we are blessed. As Vice President Salam alluded to, we met with Dr. Ray, who is the Associate Vice President of Student Affairs for the Marietta campus. So she works directly with Dr. White, and she's supporting those students here. One thing that I asked of her in that meeting is how could we better benefit the Marietta students? And in an event that I would talk about in a moment, she gave me a lot of really good ideas. And she also gave me some pointers of how the Marietta students respond in different ways and how we can cater to that. So I know that was something I was really excited to learn about, is how this campus flourishes and how we can cater to those students. I also have been busy meeting with the Sentinel and also the student media, which is like over the Sentinel and Owl Radio, et cetera. And so I'm looking to get an SGA weekly column in the Sentinel, working with one of their editors to do that as well. I feel that we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from the couple articles that we've had in the paper a few times. I know my mom was excited about it, but she's watching. So that's positive. So please look out for that. And if you want to be a part of it, let me know. I would love to pass that off to someone who's passionate about writing, because I'm not. So I also, this is a long one, get ready. So I met with Jordan Clark to discuss Owl Life and the accessibility that, like specifically the executive board has on Owl Life, and how we can better serve you guys and then serve the students using Owl Life as a tool. She kind of blew my mind with that. It's awesome. We have ways of assigning certain things to the committees and more organizations. So I'll be working with the directors and e-board. She's actually going to come present to the executive board on that solely so they can better serve you. And I would also like to thank everyone who came out to the Meet the President events. We had over 200 people come collectively on both campuses, which was awesome. I missed all of you that didn't come, but it's fine. I feel very blessed and supported. I know basically the entire police, team, and we're all there just to support us. So I met a lot of faculty and a lot of staff and also a lot of students. So thank you to those that supported it and advertised it. You guys are awesome passing out those flyers that I made you cut. Thank you. And it was really, really exciting. So please look out for another event such like that one, but it'll be more focused on you guys. So, one thing I learned from that event is creating a suggestion box out of shoe boxes and newspaper is a big hit. So I just had that on the table at one of the events, I forgot it, the other one. But to have students just write a quick comment of what they wanted from SGA, and it's anonymous, and I feel that I got a lot of good feedback from that. So yesterday, I know Director Weiss alluded to the Board of Regents, and I was actually blessed enough to go to that meeting yesterday at the Capitol, and it was awesome. I can tell you a few highlights. It was probably, I think it was like 4 hours long, so I'll, save you all that. But the biggest takeaway was President Wynn was there, her Vice President Alex McGee, and also the Vice President of Government Affairs, Julia Ayers, was there as well. And we also had a KSU student that was honored for her academic excellence there too, in front of the entire board. So as Director Weiss alluded, this is the governing body that supports all universities in Georgia. So it was an honor to be in that room with them. My biggest takeaway was that KSU was commended for our financial allocations in the fiscal year 2018. So we were spending our money the right way. Then this is exciting. So Kennesaw presented a new baseball field that is a $7 million renovation to the board, and it did pass through the boards. What that looks like is it's now going to go to the House and the Senate and et cetera. down the pipeline. So this new baseball field is going to be turf, new concessions, new media, new stands. I don't know if you guys have been to a baseball game, but thank God, because they definitely need a little bit of love. So I also attended the SABAC meeting today, and I learned a lot. I'm Treasurer Har hit on that, so I will just keep going. I also want to keep you guys updated on what is coming on my schedule in the next week. I have to do it by week or I get confused. So this Friday, Director Weiss and I will be at the Capitol for the SAC conference, which is when all the SGA presidents and one person of their choosing come to the Capitol and we meet our legislators, which is a blessing because, as you know, he's so excited, the legislature is in session right now. So it's going to be amazing to be a fly on the wall. So if you guys have any questions on how that works, please let me know. Then on the 20th, I have a couple meetings that day with Campus Services Leadership Meeting and also the Athletic Association meeting. So if you're interested in learning more about them, please reach out to me. Then on the 22nd, I'm connecting with Ron Koger, who is actually, he works out of the president's office on the Marietta campus, so I hope all my Marietta senators have met him. If not, we need to arrange that, because he actually helped with the merger of the two universities, so he's going to give me a tour, so I know where all the buildings are. With that being said, that is the end of my report, so thank you. Now we will move into open forum, and open forum is when I get to hear you talk. So this is when you guys get the chance to update the Senate on what you were doing. So is there anything for open forum? Senator Coakley.
Cool, Senator Coakley. So just a couple of updates on what Maylon and myself have been doing over this past 2 weeks. First off, on Saturday, I mentioned the competition team presidents that we kind of arranged a meeting with at the last meeting. So we had that meeting to kind of discuss funding and SABAC and all that stuff. Following that meeting was Saturday. Following that, on Monday, I went to this faculty senate meeting. Director Weiss mentioned it. After that, the competition teams, a couple of presidents and myself, we met with Dr. Sansevero to discuss like how the RSO policy is going to affect them and how we can kind of work around that. Today, I met with our dean, and some big stuff happened, kind of. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there are some committees that have been set up for each college dedicated to furthering ourselves in certain aspects, specifically undergraduate, graduate, and research, as it comes to being the best R2 university in the nation. And committees have been set up within each of the college, focusing on those aspects. Students are not parts of those committees, and I was like, how are you going to reform the education system without the people that are being educated? So I kind of went to our dean, and I was like, hey, can we get students on these? And she was like, sure. And students got emailed within the next few hours. So students had the opportunity, at least in our college, to be a part of that committee. What else did we do? We're trying to set up a forum in our college for the dean and department heads, so students essentially can come out and ask questions of the department heads and deans, stuff like that. What else? 5, 4, 6. Oh yes, SABAC meeting. I was there virtually with one of the presidents that I mentioned earlier from one of the competition teams, and we kind of got a chance to hear what's happening with SABAC. There's a lot of cool stuff if you guys care about money at all, and you should. 7, update on the dean search. So to kind of start things off, we have video interviews the next 2 days. We've got a pool of candidates that are kind of decent. We'll know who we want to bring on campus within the next week, and they'll be on campus the week of March 4th. That's it.
Thank you. Anything else for open forum? Okay. Hi, Senator.
Hi, guys. Senator Dykes. I knew I was forgetting something. I apologize. The SGA Google Calendar that we had last semester to kind of cover events and stuff that came up, that is officially updated. I'm sorry it took me so long, but if you want to utilize that, all of our meetings and due dates and all that is on there. If you ever have an event that you want added on there, let me know and I can put that on there. And for our new senators, I will send a link out in the group me for you guys to access that. If anybody's having trouble getting on it, I know some people had issues with it last semester, just reach out to me and we can get that fixed for you.
Senator Coakley again. Just a quick thing about those deans candidates being on campus. The week of March 4th, there's going to be a lunch with students specifically to kind of sit down with the dean candidate. So if you want to be a part of that, it'll probably be around 11 to 1-ish. We don't have a exact time yet, but if you do want to be a part of that and you're in engineering college, please reach out.
Okay, anything further for open forum? Okay.
Senator Rahman. I normally don't put these in the open forum, so I usually put in the office report, so I'll keep this brief as much as I can. I'd like to thank Director Har for getting us the Scantrons we needed to get students served. We went through about 500 in about 3 weeks, so assuming that's a low ball with everyone taking 3 or 4, that's at least 125 students who now know where we are, which is a really cool thing to have. The professors are talking about where we are so people know where to go when they have things to talk about. Of note, I'm really glad that there's going to be an initiative to get financial compensation for lowering book prices. Vice President Abdul Salam, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. I will be more than happy to let you guys know our perspectives from the College of Science and Mathematics. On that note, for the College of Science and Mathematics, we'll soon be joining a number of colleges in our university that is going to be searching for a dean very soon. Senator Heller and I met with Dean Dr. Anderson earlier last week, and we learned he is leaving for the University of Northern Colorado in mid-March. At that time, we'll be getting an interim dean, and we'll be searching for more deans at that time. It's a fun time to be at Kennesaw. And so with the interim dean, we'll be meeting in mid-March to discuss what we can do to further advising, to streamline research students into greater research projects, and getting more summer classes opened up for students who want to take summer classes, as Director Laney mentioned earlier. One last thing. There was a student from the Psych Services Student Advisory Board Council that we established last year who met with us at this meeting, and we will be working with them and College of Science and Mathematics to make sure that the mental health event in April is a bigger event, see what we can do to get people to come out, get some more support from the school. I'm sure they're going to be reaching out to all of you very shortly to see what you guys can do with your deans, and so we'll be working on getting that established. Maybe that'll be a big event. If you guys can all come out, that would be an awesome thing to do. And yeah, end of report.
Thank you. I will definitely be attending the Mental Health Awareness Day. I think that's perfect. Anything further for open forum? Senator Lopez?
Okay, hey guys, real quick. I know I put it in the group me, but I will be having a meeting at 2 on Friday to discuss dining on campus, both campuses. So if you have, I know like I've talked about how I'm trying really hard to get calories presented in the commons, but if you have anything like I want a 24-hour service, I want a Taco Bell, I don't know, but or something like that. Just like you can come out. It's not just for SGA, so invite your friends. I know a lot of people are very passionate about food. I've gotten more responses on this issue than anything else, which is kind of funny to me. But so yeah, come out Friday to SGA office. Thank you.
Okay, anything further for open forum? I waited 6 seconds. Okay. No? Seeing nothing further for open forum. Now we are going to move into old business. So at the last meeting, you are aware that I vetoed the recent executive board evaluation resolution that was attached in the email that Secretary Tor sent out. So if you want to copy that resolution, it is attached in that email. Feel free to pull it up now if you would like. So per the Constitution, it is brought back up to you today in old business. So if anyone wants to dispute this veto, now is the time. It does require a 2/3 vote from all you all, and understand that there must be a motion and a second to continue. So I would like to open the floor to any discussion. Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. I would very much like to discuss this resolution, not because of a specific lack of faith, but the question that it presents, the fact that this was brought up. This is one of the concerns I had when I left SGA in the fall, was the administration, and several of the people have already left. But I feel like whether or not they are removed, the proceedings, or there needs to be some sort of discussion had on the matter to resolve all doubts of anybody involved, to reassure everyone. We don't necessarily, newer senators may not know why some of these people were brought up. Older senators may still have their concerns. So I suppose following through with the proceedings, whether or not, whatever the results may be,
seems like the best way to move forward as you were putting it and resolve any doubts that people might have.
Thank you. That is why the Constitution states that it is supposed to be brought up in old business at the next meeting, and that's what this opportunity is for. So this is an opportunity for any members of the Senate to present any quorums or whatever the word is that you all have with this resolution. So this is open floor discussion. Anyone further? Okay, hi. Senator Ryan.
Senator Rahman, I've stated this before. I guess I can state it one more time. I feel like a resolution to bring impeachments to the floor isn't the most ethical way to go about things. I feel like now that we have a functional DPO position filled, we can go about this the proper channel, the proper constitutional way to go about, make sure discipline is handled. And I feel like with our new DPO, Burleson Williamson, we can get that done properly, and we don't necessarily need to use the resolution to circumvent her powers and authority of DPO at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Senator Coakley.
Senator Coakley. So I guess my feelings on this now fall somewhere with, what should I say here? Fair enough. Looking back on that last semester, Yeah. I still do think that the filing of this resolution, or whatever you want to call it, it had its merits. And I do think that voting on it today or something like that is necessary. But seeing how those brought up and the resolution have responded, it's kind of like, but at the same time, it's like, if that was what you could have been doing, why weren't you doing it?
Okay. Let's be serious about this matter. This involves members of your executive board who represent you to members of the administration. So, as I stated before, this resolution is now brought back up. There has to be a motion on the floor to vote on it, et cetera. So right now we are in discussion. Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, I move to vote on this resolution.
Okay. I would like to give a point of information that if this is voted on, then the proceedings will go through like the DPO, et cetera. So right now there's a motion on the floor to vote yes or no. No, Ron? What? Help.
Point of information. So the motion is really to the motion is to override your veto.
Okay.
That's what the motion is really about.
Yeah, not to impeach.
Okay.
Be clear.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah.
You're awesome. You keep me sane. Okay, so now there's a motion on the floor to override my veto. Is there a second? Okay.
No, I appreciate it. Restating, I move to vote on removing your veto or overriding the veto, rather.
Okay. Is there a second on the floor? Seconded by Senator Ray. Is there any further discussion on this matter? Executive board, you may discuss as well if you need to. You're involved. Okay, seeing no further discussion, all in favor of overriding my veto? 1, 2. Okay, all opposed? I gotta come out here to count. Okay, any abstentions? Okay, this motion does not pass. All right, now we are going to move into new business. And I would like for my appointment of this, I'm checking the time, sorry. Okay, we got time. Sam Lefebvre to come to the floor. He is my appointment for the Honors College. And I would like for you now to explain to the Senate why you feel you are fit for this position.
Certainly. Thank you, President Keller. So, hello, everyone. Hello, the Senate. Hello, directors, e-board. So, I'm Sam Lefebvre, and I'm hoping to become your Honors College Senator. So, I certainly believe that I'm able to fulfill this vacancy, and I'm able to do so in the best fit possible. So, I believe that fit is really important, and not just for colleges in themselves, but also for leadership positions. So going into the Honors College last semester, I was able to learn a lot of people, especially the dean's office, and get to learn people and what everyone believes and what really makes the Honors College special. And in addition to those things, how can we further in the initiatives of Director Watkins and all the initiatives prior that the Honors College as well as SGA have already started. So as for myself, I wish to continue off the past legacy of senators. I wish to embolden myself and really journey where no one has gone before, and really just strive for greatness to be able to help the students at the end of the day. I do have a passion for service, and I believe I'd be able to really go into this position and do so effectively, efficiently, and to the best of my ability. Thank you. So at this time, can we open the floor to any questions? Yeah.
Thank you. You may be seated. I would like Senator Lopez to come to the floor. She is my appointment for the Director of Internal Affairs. Woohoo!
I'm going to stand right here so I can look at all of you. Okay. So I want to first start out by saying that the position that I applied for is one that really focuses on, well, not focuses, but trust and your comfort is extremely important. So I want everyone in this room to understand that I have nothing but good intentions for you, and I have nothing but love in my heart for all of you. All right? Going off of that, it's been hard for me these past few months. I'm going to be really open-hearted. I had my first SGA meeting August 22nd of 2018. I sat about like right here, and I hadn't even put in my application yet, but I was so astounded by what I saw, and I knew I wanted to be here. And I didn't understand why for a long time. And I mean, obviously, I was someone who really wanted to serve the community, but I didn't understand why exactly I was so drawn to this community specifically. And it was because there was such a connection between you guys. It felt like a family. And so to watch that family disappear this semester has really broken my heart. And I've lost not only associates and coworkers, but I've lost what people I considered family. And so when this internal affairs position really opened up, I saw it as an opportunity to help this family get back together. And there are many ways that I'm able to implement this. One being that we have this idea that in order to bond, we have to go out somewhere. It has to be a big extravaganza, but it can be little things. For example, like I want to start doing like every other week we have a meal in the SGA office. You don't have to come, but if you want to stop by and, you know, have fellowship with your fellow senators and directors, and that's fine. And that's just little things like that can help us come back together. And so that's one of the reasons. I mean, obviously there are other things like meeting with like certain people in the university, but right now I feel like we really need to focus on getting back together to where we were before, and even better. So, yeah.
Thank you. I would like to also, point of information, she decorated all your Valentine's Day cards. So I bought them. She decorated them. I would like the two of you to step out, please. Thank you. All right. So bear with me. Is there a motion on the floor to approve both candidates at the same time? Okay. So this. Yeah. So this motion you're voting on is to vote on them at the same time. Then there's going to be another motion to vote on them, like to approve them. That's when we will discuss. With me? Okay. So is there a motion to approve both candidates at the same time? Okay. Senator Coakley, second. All right. Senator Ellington, here we go. All right. All in favor? Okay. All opposed? Okay. Any abstentions? All right. This motion does pass. Is there a motion on the floor to approve these candidates? Motion by Senator Ellington, seconded by Senator Coakley. Thanks, guys. So is there any discussion on the floor for these candidates? Yes, Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. One, I would have liked the opportunity to ask our potential Director for Internal Affairs questions herself rather than her immediately leaving the room. Just a request for the future, since we may have more vacancies as a result pending her approval. What is she the senator for? First year. So we might or might not have a vacancy in that situation given. But my only concern, I don't have a concern with him. He's young and I think he'll bloom and grow. I was asking him questions prior to the meeting and I feel like he's definitely, SGA will be good for him and he'll be good for SGA. I feel like he'll learn more about the Honors College and he's got a solid foundation to start with. But my only concern about the director is, will she be so concerned with keeping us together as a director rather than doing what's best?
Thank you for your question, Senator McGinnis. If I would like to clarify, what I think you're asking is she fair?
No, I believe she'd be fair, but I was wondering if she would.
I was wondering, I fundamentally believe she would do what she believes is fair, but I'm wondering if she'll be so concerned with keeping SGA together that she might get blinded if we have another situation in the future. Does that make any sense?
I think so. Let me try. So the Director of Internal Affairs is one that I hold close to my heart. The responsibility for the Director of Internal Affairs is to sponsor positivity within the organization. So as a Director of Internal Affairs, it is our job to sponsor events. It's our job to make sure that all the senators are heard in their events. I know through all of our fun meetings with my hype man here, we're passionate about getting things started. So I think per your question, and forgive me if this isn't exactly what you're asking, but with the help of the executive board, I have full confidence that our executive board will represent you all well. And I know in conjunction with our new DPO, I feel that Senator Lopez will represent you well and do what is best for the Senate. Does that answer your question?
Again, I'm just concerned that she seems very qualified, but I'm just wondering, this is a question that I'm going to ask of any executive board member, forgive everyone right now, based on past experiences this year. I'm harder on the executive board than the Senate, so pardon this, but I'm just trying to get to the point that will she, Director of Internal Affairs, if she sees something not happening, when she's trying to put things together, lack of attendance, lack of participation or something, I know that's partially secretary and DPO things, but I just feel like if things happen, would she be more concerned with let's be a family than reporting something to somebody the appropriate?
Yes, it does. Thank you. I would like to pass this off to our Director of Procedural Operations so she can highlight the conjunction of the executive board.
Okay. I don't feel it is the Director of Internal Affairs to take into account of everyone else's duties and responsibilities. Anybody a part of the Senate can come to me if they have any concerns about lack of participation from anyone, and that'll get handled by me. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can talk to me after the meeting. That goes for anybody.
Any further comments or questions? Hi, Director Watkins. Director Watkins, I can't speak.
Hi. So I just wanted to speak to the senator's questions. We started this meeting moving forward. Okay, so that's literally where we started, and we're moving forward. So Carly's amazing. That's why she's our president now, because we all believe in her, right? And we're all here to serve our constituencies. Carly wouldn't have chosen JJ if JJ wasn't qualified and if she didn't think that JJ was the best fit. So we're gonna trust in Carly's judgment. And JJ she came in and she worked hard, and she is full of ideas and is full of enthusiasm, and that's what the Director of Internal Affairs needs. So we're gonna focus on that.
Thank you, Director Weiss, and then we have time for like 2 more comments.
Director of External Affairs. So, I mean, I think she's qualified. That's not really the question, though. What Senator McGinnis's question is, and I think it's a fair point. Every position, even if it's not explicitly stated that they're doing the jobs of secretary, DPO, Senate lead, they still have to deal with issues. And I think, while I also trust Carly's judgment, I think she's qualified. I think it's great. We can't assume that everyone's qualified because the president appoints them. That defeats the purpose of this entire conversation. I think what she's really wanting to have heard is just, can she handle herself with this position? We all have to. I mean, I had my event last semester where people didn't show up. I had to be involved with that process going forward. I think she wants to know, can she handle that part? If she can be a leader, if she can handle herself, if she can do everything associated with the position, not just doing what's stated in the Constitution, but the stuff that's not stated in the Constitution.
I hear you. Thank you. I do. And being the former Director of Internal Affairs, like I said, this is the last appointment I'm making because it's one that I hold close to my heart. So going forward, what you're asking, thank you for clarifying, Director Weiss, so I fully understand is she a leader? And that would be a question I'd ask the Senate. I mean, I remember the first meeting she came to, she was not even in the Senate. And she stood up and she said, she held the microphone like this. And I was like, okay, that's a girl with confidence, first of all. Because I'm up here like, meh. She was like, this is what I've got going on. Let me know if you want to be a part of it. And I was like, that girl's going to be something one day. And so I hope that you guys working with her, that reassures my appointment. She's one, I feel like she's fearless, and she is someone that, I've seen her in different environments as well. We talked and worked with like 200 middle school students last semester where we went on a panel with other universities, and they were asking us pretty intense questions. I was thinking the 6th graders going to be like talking about the food, but no, they wanted to know about all kinds of stuff, and she handled that with grace. And that is someone that I would definitely be proud to stand next to. And I feel that if you do have concerns, please go to her or come to me. As I stated before this meeting in our family conversation, I don't handle silence well. If you've got something to say and it bubbles up, I'd rather you come talk to me first. So if there's a problem, we will address it. Okay? We have time for maybe like one more comment if it's on your heart. All right. We're good? Okay. Yes. Okay.
I'm not going off other comments, but I want to personally vouch for both of them because they have worked closely with me in the intern program. Sam is one of the most well-dressed persons I've ever seen in my life. Even when we had the most casual attires, even when all the interns just came in with shorts, and he always came in with the business suit, business casual or mostly business professional. So I've never seen him without a suit. So I don't think we'll be having, he's one of the most professional guys I've ever met, and he has taken the initiative to do a lot of things in intern program. He was one of the most, interactive and engaging persons in the intern program that I've seen. And regarding JJ, she was also really confident right in the beginning, and she, even though she just came in to try the position, she had that urge in herself to move forward, move up the ladder. And that's something, that's one of the biggest qualities that I've seen in a leader. And she has the strength, or she has the motivation to motivate others. And that's something that we usually need from a leader. And she's going to be handling a big committee. The Internal Affairs Committee is huge right now. And I believe that it takes a person with intense positivity and motivation to run a committee that big and with such good success. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's go forward with the voting. All right. All in favor? We're in discussion. I forgot to. It's okay. I remembered. So all in favor of approving both candidates for their positions, Senator Lopez, Director of Internal Affairs, and Sam LaFedford, Senator for Honors College. Please raise your hand. Executive Board, you're voting. Okay. All opposed? Okay. Any abstentions? Okay. This motion does pass. Can someone please let him in? Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, guys. So we're all going to share the mic. Okay. As you raise your right hand with me. Okay. Ready? Here we go. I state your full name. Repeat after me. He's so excited.
Oh, yeah.
I state your full name.
I, Samuel Jeremiah Lefebvre.
Whole name, I love it. Do solemnly promise to uphold the Constitution.
Do solemnly promise to uphold the Constitution
Of the student government of Kennesaw State University.
of the student government of Kennesaw State University.
And to faithfully execute the office of.
And to
And to
faithfully
faithfully
execute the office of Director of Internal Affairs.
Honors College.
Okay. I pledge to represent the interest of the students.
I pledge to represent the interests of the students
Over my own self-interest and matters concerning the organization.
Over my own
self-interest
self-interest
and
and
matters
matters
concerning
concerning
the
the
organization.
organization.
I will make every effort to be available to listen.
I will make every effort to be available to listen
To concerns of the students.
to concerns of the students
And to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
Congratulations. Thank you. Please join us at the Executive Board. Congratulations. Please join the Senate. Thank you. Yay. Okay. I also need a motion on the floor to extend the meeting by 20 minutes. Huh? So this is what we've got going on, all of our silly people up front. So we've got, if you look at the agenda, we have to approve the governance committee, and we also are presenting the stipends committee and the ad hoc committee that I've created for the Constitution revision. So this extra 20 minutes would give us time to skate through it. If you want me to move it to 15, I can, but we'll have to move fast. So can I have a motion on the floor? Senator Brand?
I move to extend the meeting by 20 minutes.
Okay, second? 20? Seconded by Director Reese. All in favor? All opposed? I feel you. Any abstentions? I'll go fast, but we got to go. All right? This motion does pass. So now let's move. I would like Director Williams to come forward and present those in her governance committee. So those members that have been appointed to the governance committee, please come forward.
Okay, so we're gonna take a vote to approve on my appointments. I had. Can you guys stand over here? Yeah. Okay, so for governance committee, basically our priority now is to revise the bylaws. So essentially the governance committee will be approving of the bylaws, and I'm also doing an ad hoc committee, which will be the Constitution Revision Committee, who will also play a role in just revising the Constitution, exactly what it says. So for the governance committee, I had Director Weiss, Senator Brand, Senator Benitez, and Senator Snell, who was here earlier. He had to step out for an emergency, so if you guys have any questions regarding them, I can take those questions. And for my ad hoc committee, I have Treasurer Har, Senator Hill, Senator Coakley, Senator Rahman, and Senator Ray. So these are the appointments. Do you guys have any questions? No, okay. Well, I'm gonna let them speak on why they wanted to do governance committee. Does anybody want to go?
Hey y'all, so the main reason I wanted to be on this committee is because I do think there is a definition between right and wrong, and I really feel like that's something that we should all be really like emphasizing, especially since we are a face for the students. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting, so that's my main thing.
Director of External Affairs. So I want to be on governance again. I was on it last semester, and I really think there's a lot of unfinished business there, with especially amending the Constitution and bylaws. But I think also with the impeachment resolution, whether or not it is favorable in your eyes, I think I've shown that I will do the right thing and hold people accountable. Again, whether or not you agree with that, that's one thing, but that's what it was. So I would like to do more stuff with it going forward with the organization and sort of get back to where we should be.
I'd just like to be a part of the governance committee because I'd like to help with the constitutional revision as well as helping to hold senators and the e-board more accountable in the future. Thank you.
Okay, so go along with my appointments. I basically chose these people because the governance committee is definitely very important with the state that we're in. These people are who I could put my trust into. So if you guys trust me, I hope that you trust that I trust them. And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you all. I would like for all of you to step out, please. Oh, do you want to ask some questions? Okay, Senator Bradford.
Hey, so I do believe that all you will hold people accountable, but I do have a specific question for Director Weiss. I know you did help with the resolution to impeach the senators, yes. Now, the e-board. Now, I know you will hold people accountable, but my only question is, why was Vincent the only one presenting the resolution and not yourself?
So, Director of External Affairs. So there were two main reasons, and one Carly touched on in the beginning of the meeting, and I think we're going to potentially talk about it later at the end if we need to. But first, lack of executive board bias. Vincent was strictly on governance and had no role seeing them hands-on. He saw it from an outside perspective. So that was number one. Second was everything else going on situation-wise, which I know everyone is aware of, and I know we've talked about it briefly, and we can talk about it again further in detail another time. But I wanted to keep this strictly related to what was on that resolution and have no risk of anything else coming up that was not relevant to the situation.
Okay, any further questions for the candidates? No? I waited 6 seconds. All right, could you step out, please? Okay.
Before we motion, can I say something? Okay, so Senator Coakley, before we move to approve all these candidates at once, I'd like to throw out onto the field the possibility of moving to approve just those that were here and wait until next whatever to get the other guy in.
We can vote on all of them at once and he can get sworn in next meeting, but to get him approved in order to move along with governance committee, I think it's in the best interest that we vote on them all at once, because then we'll have to wait 2 more weeks to get everything moving. So just take into account of that.
In regards to your question, just for Senator Snell, the member that is not present today. I can personally vouch for him. I've worked closely with him as his Senate lead, and I've had nothing but positive experience with him, and I have full trust that he can fulfill the duties of being on the governance committee.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. We have time for a brief discussion.
Senator McGinnis, can anyone in the Senate vouch for Senator Snell?
I could vouch for Senator Snell. He's very laid back and very quiet and reserved, so it may seem like he's not doing his job sometimes. I know that's like a stigma that some people may have in the Senate, but he's very hardworking and he does do his job and he can hold up the duties that are required.
Thank you. We have time for one more comment, then we're going to move.
Thank you, Senator Vermont. I'll keep it very quick so we can move into voting procedures very quickly. Having been on this ride last time around, I present significant concerns, ethical concerns with this, the composition moving forward. I feel like that we should be moving forward as an organization, as we have been stated by President Keller, and I would like to keep moving forward, but I present ethical concerns with some of the members on this board who may not be unbiased or just in how they do things. Having worked with all of these people in the past, I have personal experience with them and their courtships with bias, and I feel like governance committee should be people who are composed of people who are loyal to principles rather than people. Because as an organization, we have to be loyal to our principles to serve our student constituents. Without that, we're not really a very good organization. And I feel like moving forward, we really need to work on that and get that to a higher standard. So I present concerns with the composition at this time and would recommend we vote on each member separately. Thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer Har.
I move to vote on each of these individuals one at a time.
Seconded by Senator Coakley. All right. All in favor of voting them on individually? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Keep your hands raised, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. I'm going to go with it. Thank you. All opposed? All right. Any abstentions? Okay, this motion does pass. We are voting on them individually. All right, let's be, yes. Okay, Senator Ray.
Considering the situation, and we're going to have to swear him in anyway, I think we should just move Senator Snell's voting to next week or next meeting, just because. What? No, that's it. Just because, like, I mean, one, length of time, and two, like, so we can actually engage him and ask him questions personally.
Ron, is that a motion?
I mean, I've already. Okay. Go ahead.
So, one thing, I know your comment mentioned time. This is not something, and I know we're all tired. We've had a long day, trust me. I've been there. You saw my report. But this is really important, the governance committee. So if we need to extend the meeting again, we will. But I would like to leave today with the governance committee because you all deserve that. They're who are going to hold you accountable and me accountable. And that's something that I sleep easy at night with, okay? So is there any further discussion on this matter at hand? No? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to move forward in the voting. All right, we're going to start with Senator Brand. All in favor of approving Senator Brand for the Governance Committee, please raise your hand. All right. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. This motion does pass. All right. Now we're going to vote on Director Weiss. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any abstentions? 1, 2, 3. All right, we're going to do it again. All in favor? All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somebody change their vote. Somebody change their vote. Okay? Okay, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. All opposed? Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any abstentions? All right, 1, 2, 3. Did you vote? Okay. Thank you. I was just making sure. Thank you. I was just checking. Okay, this doesn't pass. All right, now let's talk about Senator Snell. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All opposed? 1, 2. Okay, any abstentions? So this does not pass as well. So now, if you could please... Oh, Benitez, I'm sorry. Thank you. Senator Benitez. All in favor? This passes. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, Benitez passes. All right, so in a recap, we have Senator Brand, Senator Benitez on the Governance Committee. Could you please let them in? Thank you. Thank you. You want to tell them? I don't know. So the results of the vote is that Senator Brand and Senator Benitez have been approved. Director Weiss and Senator Snell have not been. So thank you for your service and willingness to serve. Congratulations to those who have been approved. Thank you. You may be seated. All right. So now, Director Williams, could you please call up the ad hoc committee that we've put together for the Constitution revision?
Okay, we're going to have Treasurer Har, Senator Hill, Senator Coakley, Senator Rahman, and Senator Ray.
Should I have a vote to vote on it? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so per the bylaws, we do not have to vote on an ad hoc committee, but seeing that the governance is important, if you guys want to move to vote on these appointments, the Constitution Revision Committee, separate from Governance Committee, you guys can move to vote on them. If not,
So the responsibility of the Constitution Revision Committee is going to be specifically looking at our bylaws and Constitution and revising it. That is it. They will then consult with those approved on the Governance Committee to implement those revisions, And then the governance committee will then present it to the executive board, and then the executive board, everyone will present it to the Senate. So these individuals will be strictly with highlighters and red pens, getting rid of all the typos and unnecessary things and adding things to further stabilize our organization. Are we clear? Okay, so what Director Williams was asking is, or saying, is that per the Constitution and in the bylaws, we are not technically supposed to vote on this ad hoc committee. So we're presenting it to you all as the Senate and asking if you would like to vote on these individuals to approve. No? Seeing none, these are your Constitution Revision Committee members. All right, guys. So we have a hot 2 minutes before our extension runs out. So this is a time for announcements. If you have like 30-second announcements. That, as Treasurer Har alluded to, the Stipends Committee applications are still open, so we are not voting on that tonight. That'll be next meeting. Thank you for holding me accountable. So announcements. Senator Ray.
My fraternity, Kappa Alpha Order, is starting a new philanthropy event. We are raising $20,000 to buy a military veteran. I'm not going to cuss right now. A really, really cool wheelchair. It's going to have tracks on it. It costs $20,000. Since Sunday, we've raised $1,000 just through Venmo and stuff like that. We've been reaching out to businesses. I'm going to drop a link. On Tuesday, I believe we're going to be on the green. Don't know the time. I'll drop it in there. If you want to come like throw a pie in my face for $3, well, I'll be there.
Any further announcements? Seeing we have a minute.
Cool, Senator Coakley. Once again, Donuts with the Dean, Southern Polytechnic College of Engineering and Engineering Technology. Every second and fourth Wednesday, be there.
Okay, any further announcements? Thank you.
Director of External Affairs. Last thing I forgot in my officer report, for the day of service for SGA, since it is required similarly to Director Delaney for fuel for midterms and fuel for finals, if you cannot make it, please email me in advance and give me a valid reason, and I will document that so you will be counted as excused.
Anything else for announcements? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Treasurer Hart. Seconded by Senator McGinnis. All in favor? Okay, all opposed? Any abstentions? This motion just passed. Thank you for coming. Have a great night.